Disasters within the Caribbean are one of the biggest things that stops us from getting to developing country status. Even if we are not hit by large hurricanes or large earthquakes, small events happening all over the time, over the period of time, stop us from getting to where we want to be.
This project, which is about producing and sharing knowledge, fits right into the role of the DRRC as the lead for the education sector under the Caribbean Comprehensive Disaster Management Framework.
We have done a needs assessment, 9 countries, several sectors, and the idea is that we have used that information to guide the development of a manual to assist policymakers to integrate gender sensitivity in comprehensive disaster management activities.
Based on the demographics of the particular region, we can say, well, X number of women and Y number of men will end up here, or X number of children will end up there. So that software actually will be very important in planning responses to earthquakes.
The MSME sector is a critical sector to the Caribbean. It accounts for roughly 70 to 85% of enterprises, around 70% of GDP in some countries, and for Jamaica, for example, up to 90% of the employed population resides in the MSME sector.
So what do? We try to figure out, well, what are the things that they need? Do they need a continuity plan? Do they need to understand what is likely to happen and how likely it is to happen? And if they have a limited amount of money to spend on getting prepared for a disaster, what should they spend that money on?
If this is going to happen every year or every other year, we have to start preparing and also making sure that the smallest man, which is, for example, a craft vendor, that he is also prepared.
If I am running a small shop, or if I have a business selling things on the sidewalk or something, I need to know how can I get back into business as quickly as possible after the storm hits.
We have developed some case studies, and out of those case studies, we are actually able to distill good practices and successes.
We'll be sharing information with trade associations, small business associations, and we hope they'll put it on their website as well. So whether it be videos, whether it be documents and so on, everything's going to be available electronically, and we'll get that out into the internet as much as possible.
One, of course, has to think of the next generation of researchers, and part of the project is giving scholarships to young researchers so that they can pursue doctoral studies.
My research here focuses on hurricanes, tropical cyclones, and looking at the impact on tourism livelihoods specifically. So there are a lot of studies in the region in terms of impacts of disasters and the impact of disasters on tourism, but what I've found is that there's not a lot of research that focuses specifically on livelihoods. So this research basically fills that gap by focusing on the small man, the vulnerable person who they might have a small business or a medium-sized business, and I want to find out how vulnerable they are to these events.
Large businesses, they have the capacity to respond. They have the know-how, they have the knowledge or the wealth to acquire the information to assist them in becoming more resilient. But MSMEs do not necessarily have these resources. And that's why this project is so important, because it is helping not only to bring awareness to the need for more attention to the impact and quantifying the impact of natural disasters on MSMEs, but it's actually going to assist in building capacity and response among MSMEs.
So it's not that the hazards are going to stop happening, they're not. But the better prepared we are and the better we can get back on our feet afterwards, that's the measure that we're looking at.
I hope we will have a community of practice, which includes researchers, practitioners, and policymakers engaged in the co-production of knowledge, so that we have this integrated approach to disaster risk management, which recognizes the value of all knowledge.